We come to you live on EA Sports, and tonight it's a Windy City special. I'm Ed Cohen with the former Chicago Bull. It's Jay Williams.
Ed, we're talking about the best of the best. These guys on the court represent less than 0.001% of the world. I can't wait to see this star-studded affair.
Jay, you know the feeling as the 10 players take the court and we get ready for the opening tip. Dallas begins the game with the basketball. Doncic. Trying to cash in. Boban can hit it.
We call some of these players practice players. You know, the guys that make 5 out of 10 shots in practice, but then all of a sudden they're not gamers because then they're making 1 of 10. That's exactly what you want him to do. You want him to take those kind of shots.
From the painted area, won't go down. Leonard. Message received. Well defended. Doncic to Porzingis. Off the assist.
Old school equals high percentage.
Jay, upon scanning this Clippers roster, there are a lot of guards for Doc Rivers to work with.
Yeah, they have a plethora of guards, and if I'm this team and if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm thinking about how do I throw as many guards at you as possible, because Doc wants to get another guard in there to apply the same punch.
Whoa, look what I found.
You know it's a bad block when somebody snatches the ball out of the air. Wow.
Doncic. Easy path to the rim.
In the paint, you need to finish. Just like that.
George. Dallas has it. To Porzingis. Doncic. And that'll get out of bounds off one of the Mavericks. Screen coming. Kawhi Leonard missed his first. That one goes.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
It's the Mavericks right now at the controls. Doncic. Ah, the monster stuff. He took it out on the rim that time.
Oh, there's no better feeling than after throwing that one down, hanging on the rim a little bit, looking at your opponent beneath you, making him recognize that's where you'll be the entire ball game.
Nothing going here on that drive. Screen coming. Leonard. That's good D. Shot no good. Doncic. Paul George to Jackson. Beyond the arc for 3. His first effort off the mark. Leonard. Can't connect. It's no good. To Porzingis. Turns and slams it down.
And that is the sign of an unselfish team. When everybody in transition thinks they have a chance to get the ball because you have a willing passer, somebody willing to make other players on his team look great, that's only going to force your players to play that much harder on offense and give you more energy on the defensive end.
Kawhi Leonard. He's 2 for 5. Not great, but trending.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Has a chance. Wide open look, won't go.
Ooh, I can't believe he didn't get that one to fall. But at the end of the day, he got an open look, and that bodes well for this team.
Finishing inside the paint on that one.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Mavericks with the basketball. Doncic to Porzingis. Sizing up the defense. Knocks it down off the step back.
Oh, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
George to Marcus Morris. Here's a chance from long range. Contested shot, Marcus Morris can't hit.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Mavericks with the possession. Doncic to Hardaway. Oh, emphatic slam.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
Paul George to Nick Batum. Going to launch beyond the arc. Well defended.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
To Porzingis. It was right there. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
And sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
It's the Clippers with the possession now. The crossover gets inside and the slam dunk.
It's almost like he had the defender on a string, and he's the puppet master.
Knocked loose. Clippers have got it. Reggie Jackson rocks the rim.
You know, Ed, the effort is what concerns me the most. Effort is replenishable. If you're tired, raise your hand, check yourself out. Get somebody who actually wants to get back in transition and play some defense. That will help your team win the game, not you just staying in the game to be better on offense.
To Luka Doncic. Porzingis. Driving right to the basket. Got a piece of it.
Jumping out the gym right now, Ed.
Great anticipation. To Paul George. Leonard. Double figures in the first quarter, now at 10, including that 3.
And the more and more I watch, I become mesmerized with that follow-through. That release is effortless.
Dallas owns the basketball. Cleans it up. Offensive board. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
I was expecting the dish there, but way to fake that one and lay that one in.
Timeout called here by the Clippers as they'll talk things over here in the first quarter. Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. George. Oh, good defense there as the Mavs take it away.
Pick up that sense of urgency. Here's a chance to break the tie.
Draws the foul. And Porzingis will go to the line to shoot two.
It's still early, so no real impact on that call. But you know that they're going to call this one tight, so you might want to keep your hands out of his pocket.
First one, count it. And he makes them both. Clippers have the basketball. Nothing going here on that drive. Had a good look there, but it's no good. Redick with it. 2-point advantage. Short jumper off the mark. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at three coming up.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number one, create contact, and number two, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
J.J. Redick at the line for a chance at a three-point play. For his career, 89%. Free throw good to finish off the three-point play. The lead is up to 5. Leonard. That's how you defend.
Shooters shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Richardson to Brunson. Goes to the right side. Richardson. Jay, another one goes down. They're right where they want to be.
Exactly. Next play, you have to turn around defensively and get in the stance and actually keep that same kind of tempo.
Here's Rondo with it. Down 8. A drive to the basket, but the shot won't go down. Josh Richardson, 2 for 2. That's what you want.
This comes down to great execution both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. Let's see if they can carry this into the second quarter.
Now Doc Rivers gonna call a timeout here. Shifting gears, here come some substitutions. Pass stolen by the Mavericks. To Richardson. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
The defender was actually in a good position there. They even made a decent play on the ball. But sometimes those bounces go the other way. Still, stay aggressive out there.
Josh Richardson trying to cash in on a three-point play. For his career, 78% at the line. Free throw up and good as they open things up to a 13-point lead. It's LA Clippers ball. To Luke Kennard. Lets it fly from long range. Much needed bucket right there with the three. This game, long way to go. They're back within 10.
This isn't going to be a rollover game. That's the kind of facial expressions you need from somebody who's ready to fight.
Brunson to Richardson. Knocked loose. Clippers have it. To Luke Kennard. Screen coming. Kennard. Won't go. Powell with the rebound. Count it.
And attention to detail is everything for a professional scorer like that. Actually getting it done the hard way.
Here comes the screen. To Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard slams it down. They have set the tone in this one.
I love when I see offenses come out in beast mode. You attack that paint, you get to the rim, inevitably the floor will open up for you to knock down some threes.
Brunson. The drive right to the basket. No good and no foul. Oh, good defense there as the Mavs take it away. J.J. Redick. 2 for 3 now here in the first.
As a player, there's nothing better than coming out in the first quarter and playing exactly the same way you played the last couple of days of practice. You're moving the ball, you're capitalizing on mistakes, and you really built a nice lead.
And a throwdown. Jay, perhaps that's a start.
Those kind of plays get me fired up. That's a momentum play. They looked lifeless here in the first quarter, but a dunk like that can get your team going in the right direction.
Richardson. Redick. Off the mark. No good. To Leonard. 4-3. Shot off the mark. Good defense.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Leonard. Leaving no doubt. Slams it down. Whoa, he got up there.
Just showing you that 40-inch vertical.
Dallas with the possession. Brunson to Richardson. Probing the defense. Richardson. With a drop step. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket. Deep three at the buzzer. That'll do it for the first quarter. The Mavericks are in the driver's seat. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Clippers. Dallas has it. To Luka Doncic. Drives, but a shot won't go down.
And one of the most underrated things in this game is quick lateral speed. Good job by utilizing that speed and taking away the lane.
Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down.
And the defense keeps sticking to those flare screens.
Richardson against Cousins. To Luka Doncic. DeMarcus Cousins snatching it out of the air. Rondo with the basketball. Margins 8. And a nice finish at the rim.
Well, look, you can't be caught flat-footed on defense. You need to be on the balls of your feet, especially in transition. You have to jab at that guy with the ball, hedge at him. Make him think that maybe you will take him. Maybe you'll fan out to a defender on the perimeter. But still, keep him guessing. But when you don't do that, that's easy money.
Doncic to Richardson. Dallas with 4 to shoot. From the outside, no good.
Misses happen. Don't put your head down. Let that motivate you in the defensive end. Use it for something positive.
To George. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Paul George can't get that one to go. Defense all over him.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Paul George. Here comes the screen. Dwight Powell sends it away. And that'll get out of bounds off one of the Mavericks. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Shot clock's at 5. Down to 4. Jackson. Porzingis with the rebound. KP, Kristaps Porzingis. That's 3 now on 4 shots.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
George. Powell with the rebound. Richardson to Luka Doncic. Has a look. And 2 more points. The defense had him, but the good shooters find a way.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
LA Clippers with the basketball. To Paul George. Takes stock of the floor. To Reggie Jackson. 5 to shoot. Pass stolen by the Mavericks.
That's called game plan execution to perfection. Every possession on the road is critical.
George to Jackson. Off the mark. Doncic to Porzingis. It's the Clippers with the possession now. Gets to the basket and scores.
You know, teams usually shoot higher percentages early in the shot clock. Plus, you take away the legs of the defense. You have to dictate the pace.
Down low for Powell. DeMarcus Cousins swats it.
That's why a rim protector is a necessity in this game.
Paul George to Cousins. Trying to cash in. Deep two there. Won't go. To Luka Doncic. Finish that. George. To Reggie Jackson. Oh, nice find for the basket.
And when the ball gets the defense rotating from side to side, you're bound to find opportunities for each other.
Now a whistle. Dallas will use the timeout as they'll talk things over here in the second quarter. Some lineup changes now for both clubs. Brunson to Luka Doncic. Brunson to Porzingis. Down to 5 on the 24. He's looking for that touch.
I just love where this takes you into the psychological battle as a player offensively. Was that a great contest, or did you just miss the shot? But now you have me thinking about that the entire next possession.
Oh, he blocked it.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Here's Leonard for 2. Kawhi Leonard. He's 5 for 10, shooting 50%.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Hardaway to Brunson. 5 on the shot clock for the Mavs. Has a chance? Not that time. Into the front court comes Rondo. Down 6. Leonard to Cousins. Driving right to the basket. He cruises in for 2. Too easy.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Doncic. And he's fouled. He's going to the line for 2.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
Nope. First one does not go. Knocks down the second after missing the first. Leonard to Luke Kennard. Leonard. To Luke Kennard. Scores from the post.
There you go, finally. Shoot your shot.
It's the Mavericks right now at the controls. Doncic to Hardaway. Wide open look, won't go.
Just seems like there's lead in the feet of the defenders. You have to bounce quicker to the ball to deter that shot.
To Batum. And the denial.
Just incredible timing on that swap.
Doncic flushes it home.
It's so amazing when you get a chance to see a player in his own space. It's almost as if the defense doesn't exist. He can go left, he can go right, he can attack. He's playing on that court by himself.
The jumper's off the mark. Hardaway to Luka Doncic. Hardaway over to the right side. Clippers have the basketball. Throws it down.
And if you're on defense on that last possession, no need to look over to the coach's bench, hold up your arms, wonder what did you do. Everybody got back, everybody communicated, everybody pointed. It was just better offense than it was defense.
Just enough of a head fake to help on that one.
Learn from that. You got to be a step ahead of the offensive player. Know that fake is coming again later.
Leonard. To Marcus Morris. LA with 4 to shoot. From long range. Contested shot, Marcus Morris can't hit.
Shooters shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Marcus Morris. Huge block.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
To Leonard. Has a look. Shot for Leonard, no good.
And that's next level defense. The defender took away the pocket space of the shooter. Now, as a shooter, they shoot hundreds of shots each and every day from that pocket with consistency. Now you force them to change the angle or the positioning of that pocket, you're going to lower the chances of them making that shot.
Gets it to go. Could have been more. A lot of contact, but no foul. Now the Clippers call a timeout as they'll take a moment to go over things here in the second quarter. Looks like both teams are making substitutions. Jackson to Leonard. Shot from the lane won't go. To Redick. Here comes the screen. 5 on the shot clock for the Mavs. Fires the 3. Luka Doncic marked man. Shot altered and no good.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
To Marcus Morris. Leonard. Jackson. Not that time. He misses. Doncic. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
Well, some players just have that innate ability to let the game reveal itself. And that's the patience that Doncic has. He also has the height at 6'8". He can see over smaller defenders to make that easy pass.
Able to convert inside.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Mavericks with the basketball. Lays it up and in.
When you're a EuroLeague MVP at the age of 19, let me break down why your game is perfectly suited at the PG spot to be a dominant one in the league. Because Luka Doncic is a technician offensively. In any screen and roll opportunity, he makes the simple read. He's not the most dynamic player offensively. He doesn't have Ben Simmons' athleticism. But what he does have is Rajon Rondo vision mixed with a jump shot where he can beat you any and every way he wants to.
First half in the books. The Mavericks have the lead.
Thanks, fellas. Jalen here with your halftime report. The Mavericks are in a close game thus far. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. All right, back to the second half.
All set to go here in the second half. The third quarter is underway. It's LA Clippers ball. Deep right corner. Paul George to Leonard. Terrific vision. Nikola Batum. Tough shooting. Only 2 for 6 after that make.
Ed, sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Doncic. And he's fouled. A trip to the line coming up.
The game is too tight for you to be taking risks like that. You want to avoid foul trouble at all costs.
And he connects on the first free throw. So he hits the first, misses the second. Jackson to Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris, strong finish. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Porzingis to Hardaway. Here comes the screen. A drive, but he can't get it to go.
And you thought you would have seen him bounce back in the second half. Just looked like he could never get himself into the flow of the game. I put a little bit out on the coaching staff, too. Maybe they could call some better plays for him to get him in situations where he could see the ball go in.
To Luka Doncic.
Right.
To Porzingis.
Gotta come through.
Can't connect. Batum to Marcus Morris. Porzingis for 2. KP. Kristaps Porzingis 4 out of 7.
And this is what makes Porzingis so dangerous. He's got that length and those jump shots just like Kevin Durant, but he's way over 7 feet tall, and he's got that feathery touch down low. Still want to see his game get a little bit more expanded with his low post moves.
He was smothered and still gets it to go down.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays, no one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
To Luka Doncic. Trying to cash in. Count the basket. He's feeling good. Defense has to get him out of his comfort zone.
Here's what's brilliant about Luka Doncic. Everybody thinks that you need to be fast or be able to ISO somebody and create your own shot with your speed or your athleticism or your explosiveness. That is not the case. Doncic is 6'8", 230 pounds. Put that smaller guard on your hip, post him up, walk him down, shoot shots over the top. If you have an uncanny style of play, that game can reward you a ton in this league.
Here comes the screen. Doncic has a chance. Goes to the right side. George buries it on the catch and shoot.
It just seems like everybody's getting more touches. I'm not saying who, but it seemed like the ball stopped in a certain player's hands, which forced the defense to become stagnant.
Porzingis to Hardaway. With the fadeaway. Burns him for the basket.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
Jackson with it. His guys down 3. To Leonard. Powell with the rebound. To Luka Doncic. And the Clippers with the rebound. George. Paul George. Oh, 3 for 8. He's got to do better.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it. This year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
And throws it down.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Mavericks with the possession. Nothing going here on that drive. A lot of contact on that play. He plays through it and scores.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
George to Leonard. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Kawhi Leonard at the line for a chance at a 3-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. Missed the foul shot. To Porzingis. Hardaway to Luka Doncic. Deep left corner. To Luka Doncic. For 3, Doncic showing why the Mavs traded up to get him.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is a brilliant offensive display. You have ball movement, player movement, and great shooting to top it off. You get those 3 things going, you're going to be a dynamic offensive unit.
To Nick Batum. Jackson to Leonard. Gets a shot up off the mark. Doncic to Porzingis. KB, Chris stops Porzingis. With that shot, he's 5 for 8.
But did you see the way he was able to do it, Ed? Did you see him constantly probe the defense by maintaining his dribble? Ultimately, if you keep your eyes on all the other defenders, they will lose track of where the ball is. That's where you slip a quick pass in for an easy dime.
Paul George. Here's Jackson down low. Oh, you could sense that coming.
There is a premium market for players with that type of hand-eye coordination.
Ah, missed it. How'd that not go down? Jackson with it. The deficit is 6. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Doncic to Porzingis. To Luka Doncic. Dallas with 4 to shoot. Scores from the post.
You know, Ed, people don't understand. Tough shots are practiced every single day. With all these different contraptions out there to contest your shot, guys shoot 500 made shots a day. This is the new norm.
And Boban there to take in the rebound. Dallas owns the basketball. To Luka Doncic. Here comes the screen. Fires the 3. That's off the side of the rim, short. To Leonard.
Oh, yeah, it's me and you. Me and you. Give me stance. He's coming. Give me stance.
Over to the right side. To Batum. Nikola Batum. He's 5 for 10, shooting 50%.
And while the ball was still in his hands, a sidestep throws a defender off. People aren't used to seeing that type of footwork.
Here comes the screen. Has a look. Unbothered by the defense as he drills it. Timeout called here by the Clippers as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. Leonard to Luke Kennard. Send it away.
Did you see how far he got up? He kept going up and up and up. I think he's still going up.
J.J. Redick. He's 3 of 5. 60% shooting from the field. L.A. Clippers with the basketball. Leonard. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. With a drop step. Beyond the arc for 3. Tough shot. Well defended.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there. Utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
Doncic. Nothing going here on that drive. Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
So many times you can tell if a player is going to finish before he even gets to the rim. Did you see that look on his face? That was the look of a three-point play. You always going in thinking you can get more at the rim.
Nothing going here on that drive. Kawhi Leonard and scores on the step back.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Doncic. Kicks it around the perimeter to Doncic. Screen coming. Doncic to Redick. 5 on the shot clock for the Mavs. Trying to cash in, J.J. Redick. He's now 4 for 6.
I remember my high school coach said one man can't beat 5. Well, I'm telling you right now, he lied. I'm watching it happen in person.
To Leonard. Here comes the screen. Leonard. Great look and vision. Count the basket. They gave him a look, and why not?
You know what I like about this pass play? Instead of putting his head down and forcing the action, he patiently waited for the play to develop.
Redick to Doncic. Richardson to Redick. It's a big finish.
See, Ed, that's what I love. You don't need to conserve your energy. You attack that rim with ferocity. You always set the tone.
Rondo into the front court. His guys trail by 10. To Leonard. Screen coming. Leonard. Now that's a contest.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
Out of bounds the call. Last touch by Nick Batum. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor. Deep three at the buzzer. 3 quarters complete. It was a strong one for the Mavericks. Dallas with the basketballs. We begin the 4th quarter. And if they were looking good at halftime, Jay, they're really looking good now.
They really turned up that intensity in the 3rd quarter. They were looking to put this game out of reach, and they've come out close to doing it.
George? Oh, that's how it's done.
Well, that change is inevitable. And one of the things that continues to fascinate me about this game, usually when you see a good three-point shooting team, their shoulders are square to the basket. That's no longer the case in today's game. These guys are off balance, they're moving different ways, yet they still have extreme shot-making ability.
George to Leonard. And the rebound belongs to the Mavericks. To Brunson. Here comes the screen. Brunson. Can't connect.
And this is where you know you have the offense right where you want them. Every possession, all you see them doing is complaining to the ref, complaining to each other. You're making the game uncomfortable. That's the mark of a good defense.
To Leonard. Paul George to Leonard. Pass to Cousins. Down low. George. He was all over him.
And there's always so much talk about defense. How about offensively? If you continue to attack that shooter, now you're making him work on the defensive end. That makes him take his legs away on the offensive end.
The screen sets him up for two.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
That's no good. Nice follow-up on the dunk there.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice finish. It's all business.
Brunson to Richardson. Here's a chance from long range. Missed it. George to Leonard. Josh Richardson sends it away.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
Almost unlucky bounce. Picked up by the Mavericks. Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
Ed, did you see that in transition? Don't 1-2 ooh-wee on him.
Ooh-wee. Oh, it's good. Oh, good defense there as the Mavs take it away.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Brunson. To Richardson. Has a chance. Wide open look, won't go.
This game is all about the small victories, though. The execution on that play was on point. You keep executing like that, those shots are going in eventually.
To Leonard. To George. Not that time. And count the basket.
I'd say his game is translating to the league just fine.
Now the Clippers call a timeout as they'll talk things over here in this fourth quarter. We have both squads set to make some moves right now. Paul George to Cousins. Kristaps Porzingis with the block.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Josh Richardson, now 4 for 9.
You know, it reminds me out of a story a legendary coach once told me. He said, if you ever get in a fight, you're not going to hit somebody with an open hand, correct? You'll probably break a finger. But if you hit somebody with a fist, what is that? That's 5 fingers working collectively together as one. That's how you deliver a knockout punch, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Reggie Jackson, not that time. Porzingis to Richardson. Going to launch beyond the arc. Josh Richardson knocks it down from 3.
This is a game of ways. As a defense, you have to recognize that they come and they go. That will not be the case all the time moving forward.
Layup's good. Those are the types of shots you always strive for.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Richardson. To Brunson. Screen coming. DeMarcus Cousins with a piece.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
George. Hand in his face, still hits. You don't see that very often.
Old school equals high percentage.
Brunson to Porzingis. To Richardson. Here comes the screen. Richardson in a matchup with Boogie. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
The defender was actually in a good position there. They even made a decent play on the ball. But sometimes those bounces go the other way. Still, stay aggressive out there.
Josh Richardson trying to cash in on a three-point play. He's perfect from the line so far. And he missed the free throw. Jackson with it. Down a bundle. LA with 4 to shoot. Has a look. Can't connect. Defense did its job that time. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
To Luka Doncic. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket. It's the Clippers with the possession now. Leonard to Nick Batum. Short jumper won't go down. And the Clippers have the rebound. Jackson with it. His guys down big. To Marcus Morris. Leonard. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
People become so fixated on the hands or the arms or the strengths of the arms. I look at the legs. The strength of his legs help him power through that play. That's how you get and ones.
Nikola Batum at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 83% free throw shooter. Free throws good to cap off the three-point play as they draw a tiny bit closer. Brunson to Porzingis. No good. Clippers have the basketball. Short jumper won't fall.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
Here's Rondo with it. He'll run the offense. Leonard. Can't miss those. Hardaway against George. Able to convert inside.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. From the painted area, won't go down. To Luka Doncic. Hardaway to Luka Doncic. Lets it fly from long range. Luka Doncic, marked man. Shot altered and no good. To Hardaway. 4-3. It's in the jeans. Tim Hardaway Jr., hand in his face, hits the tough three.
Even though the coach initially may not like that shot, now he's clapping because that ball went in.
To Paul George. To Leonard. Cashes in for two.
And sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Brunson. Bad pass there. Clippers have it.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
Hardaway. And that'll get out of bounds off one of the Mavericks. Coach has seen enough. He wants some changes. New personnel onto the floor. To Leonard. Down to 5 on the 24. Paul George to Leonard. Lets it fly from beyond the arc, and he's fouled. Good play by the shooter.
You know what? That's an even better play by the defender. I like the foul there. Send a message. Nothing easy.
He's going to have to earn it now. First one goes down. It's a second. One more coming. No good. Made the first two, missed the last. Doncic to Hardaway. To Porzingis. Scores from the post. To Marcus Morris. Oh, he had it. Porzingis for two. Not today.
Let's be realistic. He's probably not going to miss a lot of shots. But the more effort you can give, you want to try to tire him out. Take his legs away. Make him work to catch the ball. That's how you win a defensive battle.
The victory to the Mavericks as they win this one handily. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Jalen Rose here, and I've got your EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Mavericks put one in the win column with a solid performance. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers just couldn't get within striking distance toward the end of the game. And even though some of them smiled and shook hands with the other guys after the game, you could tell by the way they headed to the tunnels how disappointed they were about this loss. The Clippers relied on these guys for their scoring here today.
Game track. Bench points.
The Dallas Mavericks had the kind of bench production that will make any coach proud. NBA games can be made easier when you're working with depth, and that's exactly what happened here today.
Player of the game.
The highlight says it all. He's your player of the game. Here are the top 3 plays from the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Mavericks got the win with a comfortable scoring margin. And some people may disagree, but I think their ball movement was the biggest key to their victory. Still, I think we'd all agree that they made the defense look slow and confused throughout this matchup. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers put up a fight, but didn't get their hands raised at the end. I'm sure they can't help but feel frustrated with the result, but they can't let that feeling linger. Sooner than later, they need to start thinking about the next matchup. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Dallas Mavericks can confidently say it was the player of their substitutes that was a big reason, if not the biggest reason, for their success today. Tremendous job by the reserves to be impactful in this matchup.
Player of the game.
Being able to put up these kind of numbers is always impressive, but having the ability to lead and inspire is something special. Top plays, and we've got 3 of them for you.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Mavericks got themselves a win here today. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers didn't get the victory they wanted here today. And even though some of them smiled and shook hands with the other guys after the game, you could tell by the way they headed to the tunnels how disappointed they were about this loss. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Dallas Mavericks had the kind of bench production that will make any coach proud. NBA games can be made easier when you're working with depth, and that's exactly what happened here today.
Player of the game.
If you asked him, I'm sure he'd give the credit to his teammate and coaches. But at the end of the day, we know that he's the one that made the biggest impact on this game. These are the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Mavericks were solid in today's victory. And some people may disagree, but I think their ball movement was the biggest key to their victory. Still, I think we'd all agree that they made the defense look slow and confused throughout this matchup. Check out the leading scores for the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers couldn't put it together to get the victory here today. I'm sure they can't help but feel frustrated with the result, but they can't let that feeling linger. Sooner than later, they need to start thinking about the next matchup. Check out the leading scores for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Dallas Mavericks can confidently say it was the player of their substitutes that was a big reason, if not the biggest reason, for their success today. Tremendous job by the reserves to be impactful in this matchup.
Player of the game.
When you see these highlights, it's easy to see how this guy earned the award. His impact on the game wasn't lost on anyone. We got our top 3 plays for you. Check them out.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Mavericks put together a nice win here today. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers didn't lose big, but it wasn't exactly close either. And even though some of them smiled and shook hands with the other guys after the game, you could tell by the way they headed to the tunnels how disappointed they were about this loss. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Dallas Mavericks had the kind of bench production that will make any coach proud. NBA games can be made easier when you're working with depth, and that's exactly what happened here today.
Player of the game.
And what we have here are highlights worth 1,000 words. There's no question he stood out amongst the rest in today's matchup. Here we go with the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Mavericks added a win with today's solid victory. And some people may disagree, but I think their ball movement was the biggest key to their victory. Still, I think we'd all agree that they made the defense look slow and confused throughout this matchup. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers just couldn't get within striking distance toward the end of the game. I'm sure they can't help but feel frustrated with the result, but they can't let that feeling linger. Sooner than later, they need to start thinking about the next matchup. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Dallas Mavericks can confidently say it was the player of their substitutes that was a big reason, if not the biggest reason, for their success today. Tremendous job by the reserves to be impactful in this matchup.
Player of the game.
I like this choice because he really put on a show in this game. There's a reason he's a fan favorite. We handpicked them for you. Here are the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Mavericks came away with the victory in this one. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers put up a fight, but didn't get their hands raised at the end. And even though some of them smiled and shook hands with the other guys after the game, you could tell by the way they headed to the tunnels how disappointed they were about this loss. Check out the leading scores for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Bench points.
The Dallas Mavericks had the kind of bench production that will make any coach proud. NBA games can be made easier when you're working with depth, and that's exactly what happened here today.
Player of the game.
Easy choice for player of the game. No one else made as big of an impact in this matchup. Here we go with the top 3 plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
The Mavericks put one in the win column with a solid performance. And some people may disagree, but I think their ball movement was the biggest key to their victory. Still, I think we'd all agree that they made the defense look slow and confused throughout this matchup.